Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, October 2nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, FEMY, monster move here today as I'm doing videos right now. No. Sorry, my daughter just walked in. Nope, I'm doing videos right now. All right, so we have a little guest. Kid is going to help out here. But anyways, so FEMY, nice move here, big movement, and now a very solid pattern. And solid pattern being defined as one that you got to think a lot of people are watching. And I like patterns that a lot of people are watching because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So in fact, let me just get rid of that line as it served its purpose. So we have that part of the pattern right there as its resistance. And then at the same time, we have that support right there. So let me change that to represent support and then maybe make it easier to see. Let's all keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big upwards move here, and this would be a bull flag pattern. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say things were guaranteed. Just because a lot of people are watching this pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed if the price comes up there and pushed up through there, that break will for sure create additional buying pressure. But is it plausible to think that? Yeah. Absolutely. So definitely keep an eye on that as far as if you like stocks down below $5 and you like bull flag patterns. Next one here, ticker symbol NVOS for you penny stock players out there. And bigger pullback than what I'm sure people wanted to see, but in doing so has created another one of these breakout areas here where you got to think a lot of people are watching that trend line right there. So I don't know why I made it that long, but there we go. So that's going to be the breakout point that you got to think a lot of people are watching. Now, in the very near term, probably a lot of people are going to be watching that pink line right there, which is the 200 period moving average. But what I would consider more so an overarching level of resistance is going to be that trend line up there. So keep an eye on that. And then as far as supports are concerned, a couple different choices here. First level down here, the former breakout point, which is down around the 25-cent mark, which makes for an interesting level because not that far away from that area, you can see that right there, you have the purple line there, the 50 period moving average. So it's kind of like a double whammy of support. Does not mean that the price will bounce if it goes down there. But again, is it reasonable to think that it could bounce? Absolutely. So as far as penny stocks are concerned, a whole lot of volume on this one, some very well-defined levels. So if you like penny stocks, keep an eye on it. Next one here, PLTR, and once again, higher highs and higher lows. Now, this is a little tricky to talk about because it all depends on your strategy. What do I mean? Well, if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you were buying right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well, then yes, from that angle, the chart looks really bad because there was this deeper pullback here. However, assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, even with this bigger pullback, the chart is still perfectly fine. And to best illustrate this, let me just get this out of the way for now. And I'm not saying this will occur, but let's say the price pulls back some more and actually goes all the way down there and tests that 1570 support. Again, not saying that'll occur, but for example's sake, comes down here, behaves like that, and then starts to curl back upwards. Now, emphasis here on big picture. From the big picture point of view, what do you have? Well, you have a set of lows there. You have lows there. You have lows there. You have lows down there. And if you envision each one of those as stair-steps, what do you have? Well, from the big picture, you still very clearly have stair-steps progressing in the upwards direction. And assuming you care about the big picture, that's what it's all about. You want to see those higher highs and higher lows, and that's what's been accomplished here. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy here. Just literally a question of where did the party finally stop? And that was up there at about $16.80, so keep an eye on that. But from a big picture point of view, overall, the trend is perfectly fine. Next one here, OPGN, and nice little consolidation. These ones always get a little scary because think about it. The opening 30 minutes, big green candle. Then the price started to come down. At this point, it always becomes a question of, was this one of these pump and dumps, one-day wonders where it gap ups and then goes straight down, so a gap and trap? But we got our answer, at least for now, and the price did at least level out. Now, let me be very clear. I wish I could say trading was this easy, but just because the price leveled out there at the 34.5-cent mark, does that guarantee that this is for sure the bottom and that this thing is for sure going to curl back upwards? Nope, there are no guarantees. But does it become way more plausible at this point? Absolutely. So got the pullback, got some sideways movement, and now it's just a question of seeing if the price can get back turned around, with the key breakout point being right up there around the 44-cent mark. So overall, if you like penny stocks in these sorts of scenarios where you get the big surge up, then you get a pullback and you get some consolidation, then certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here is AMC, and overall, good solid day built upon that nice bounce that occurred late day yesterday on Thursday. And now we have some more, adjustments here to do. Main level, though, that still is being very stubborn and annoying, $8.10, which I've talked about in past videos. Now, the good news is I would definitely say it was weakened up because the price broke above it on several occasions. Problem is the price can never stay up above it, so therefore still got to be considered an area of resistance. So $8.10 still remains that main level. But again, I would definitely agree if you wanted to make the argument that it's a weakened level of resistance. So yes, weakened level of resistance, but still a resistance nonetheless. In terms of supports, the main level now that I think makes the most sense to talk about right here at $7.80. So keep an eye on that. And you really don't want to see the price fall below there, because if the price does drop below it, at that point, all of a sudden the price has gone back to this area of the chart that it's just broken out of. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. But that's why in my mind, 780, very, very important. But overall, nice close to the week here as it's starting to try to trend back upwards. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online web class that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, RIVN. Very, very nice mover here. Very nice trend. What, in fact, how nice. Yeah, there we go. I think that does a good job of illustrating the trend. But I mean, just beautiful. Higher highs, higher lows. So from a trend perspective, you could put this right into a textbook of what an uptrend looks like. Very, very nice looking chart there. But we'll zoom in here a little bit and talk about some of the more relevant areas. And going back to the whole level that you got to think a lot of people are watching from a trend line standpoint, a resistance standpoint, right here at that level. Let me bring that down a little bit. There we go. So that area of resistance right there. All right, my co-host is now gone. But that level of resistance is going to be that main level that you got to think a lot of people have identified, which brings about that whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecy. So as I've said, is it guaranteed that the price goes up and breaks through it? It's going to send the price run in. No guarantees, but certainly valid. And then as far as supports are concerned, got this area right here where you got to think several people are watching that as a support. So then once again, going back to the patterns, resistance, support, nice upwards move here. So bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. But all in all, I think that the key dynamic here is if you're somebody that likes to play good solid uptrends, right now RIVN certainly fits that bill. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and overall nice mover here as it continues to trend. Now granted, it did pull back some, but overall it did not go as low as it previously was. And on that other note, did a fantastic job of staying up above that purple line, which I know I talked about in past videos as support. So you can see back there on Thursday, acted as support. And then once again, acted as support as the price never quite went all the way down there. So good to see on that note. Now, again, there is always that built-in reference point that I'm talking about things from more so a bigger picture. I get it. If you're a scalper and you bought right there and wanted to buy and sell within 2 minutes, then yes, the chart looks terrible. But I'm making these comments geared more towards the overall chart standpoint. Now, as far as areas of resistance, I'm going to go ahead and call this level weakened up enough where I want to, in fact, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, there we go. Want to move this up here to this newest level of resistance, which I would call right up there at the 254 mark. So 254 now going to be the newest area of resistance. And then if a strong break of that occurs, next key level would then be that pink line up there, the 200 period moving average. But all in all, nice back half to the week. Got a bit of a pullback here, but as I alluded to already, the price still put in a higher base, which is always important to see. Next one, AMD, and overall good solid movement here. And this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, but if you did, hopefully remember me talking about the 104.40 mark as resistance, because that's exactly where the problem arose, I think is the right word there, arose today. You can see multiple times this morning, couldn't quite push through it. Tried again late morning, early afternoon, couldn't quite push through it. So yes, 104.40, clearly a very stubborn level. But the good news is just because the price got rejected, it's not like it got destroyed or anything. It's just what I would argue is a good healthy pullback. And in fact, some of you are saying, how are you not going to draw this bull flag pattern? I'm going to draw it right now. There you go. So a nice little bull flag right there that is formed. Maybe it'd be easier to just look at the downwards channel right there. And yes, it's a downwards channel, but again, you got to factor in, well, what was going on before this downwards channel? Well, you've had this nice grind in the upwards direction. So overall, AMD looking healthy, looking strong, still above key levels of support, the 200 period moving average, the level down here at 125, and even that 50 period moving average. So setting up very nicely for next week, so we'll see how it continues to play out. Next one here, NIO, very, very nice mover here. Got the breakout of this little pattern that I talked about and is still continuing to grind higher and higher. So I'll go ahead and get rid of those. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that one down there too as it served its purpose. But right now, the one level that I'm very curious about, and you got to think a lot of shorts are probably watching this level too, is this area right here at $8.87. I mean, look at the number of times the price between Thursday and then today has been down at that level. And then a couple more times this morning. So you got to think a lot of people are watching that. Shorts included, thinking, if the price comes down there and cracks through there, I think that might make a good short. Now, they could definitely be wrong, and that's why risk management matters, and the price comes down there and bounces back upwards. So, both sides are true. I mean, I can understand also if you're saying, what are you talking about? I think the price comes down there, it's going to bounce. It's bounced from there before. Again, a completely rational thought on your part. Just like the shorts are rational to think that if it breaks, then that could create downwards movement. But at the end of the day, that's why risk management matters. But the core dynamic here is you got to think, at least in my opinion, a lot of eyeballs will be watching 887. In terms of areas of resistance in the near term, key level right here at the $9.10 mark. And then like AMD, if the price can put, or was that Tesla? I don't remember now. But one of these, we had one of these, a situation where if the price broke the resistance, then you had the 200 period moving average not that far away. And we have that set of circumstances right here in this situation too. So all in all, NIO continues to grind higher and higher. We'll see if that can continue next week. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to rise, this one will also rise. Biggest difference is it just allows you access at a much lower price point. And right now, first I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of these lines. Too many lines. It's distracting to my eye, so who knows what it's doing to yours. But really the main, in fact, I'm going to get rid of that level too, because really in all actuality, we don't need that line right now because we have, maybe you already have noticed it. We have the purple line there, 50 period moving average, which is coming across right here, providing a nice level of support. So you, no doubt about it, very nasty pullback today, but the power of charts, look right where the pullback essentially ended, right there at that purple line there, 50 period moving average. So moving forward, that'll be the main area of support in the near term. And then as far as resistances are concerned, still got to keep an eye on 36.15. Now to be fair, it was weakened up today because the price did spend some time above it. But after the price fell below it there, you can see it's gone back to acting as resistance. So from that angle, really, if you want to just really simplify it, potentially a sideways channel here is forming. Top of the channel resistance, 36.16, and then bottom of the channel support, that purple line down there, the 50 period moving average. So does it form into some sort of sideways channel pattern next week? We'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free class. Next week, it'll be Thursday, October 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Even if you tell me what you traded today or what you're watching next week, but those two things communicate to me that you enjoy this content. And as long as I know you're enjoying, I will continue to create this content and more. So I appreciate your help in advance just by hitting that like button and leave a simple comment below. So thanks for watching. Take care. Go get signed up for that free class and have a great weekend.